Thanks to a grant from the Fruitport Education Foundation, all of our infant toddler families in the Eastern Service Unit will be getting 3 books over the course of the winter and spring. And our first one is Sneezy the Snowman. And this is a book that you'll get to keep and use at home for any goals that your child's working on. So we're going to go over a few different ways that you can use the book because all of our babies and toddlers are at different levels. So an early way, if your baby is just starting to explore books, is doing an action with the book. So an action with this book might be you go to that snowman and you pat his belly, pat, 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 pat. Or you might tickle him, tickle, 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 tickle. You can even bring him up close and give him a kiss and see if your baby will imitate that. Patting is usually an easy one because you can take their hand and put your hand over it and help them pat, 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 pat. You can also work on open the book, but with a paperback book like this, that's a little harder than a board book, but that is an action that you can do with your board books at home. I also like to do knocking to open, knock, 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 knock. That's really good with lift the flap books as well. The next level up, if your baby already is doing all of those actions, is to have them imitate some big body actions. So that might be blowing a kiss to the snowman as you're going through the pages. It could be copying some of the actions that you see. Like on this page, the snowman is shivering. Do that and have your baby copy your action and that snowman's action of shivering cold, brr. And you can also do some actions of drinking from a cup, pretending to drink. You can try to blow on the cup because it's too hot. Those are all fun actions to do. You can mime some of the characters' faces, that expressive, oh no, and uh-oh, and see if your baby will copy you doing that. You could even pretend to melt like the snowman melted. That would be a fun one too. You can pretend to roll up the snowballs and pretend to roll them on the floor. And one of the funnest ones, you can pretend to do that great big sneeze. That seems to get almost every toddler to giggle and to want to do it again. So that's a fun big body action to do. After that phase, when kids are starting to make some noise and you're trying to model some of those beginning vocalizations, you could do anything that you can think of that's not really a word. So anything like the pretend sneeze, achoo, is a good one. You can do some ooh, ooh, as you point. Pointing is a good big body action as well to have them do that I had forgotten. You can make some of the noises that you probably made when you were doing the big body actions, but now you're trying to get your toddler to imitate you in those noises. So brr, brr. And you could do, you know, the sound of the blow and trying to get them to copy you. You can also pretend to drink and make that slurping noise and then do what I call an audible exhale. Like you're relieved from that drink. That's a fun one that a lot of times is a great early starting point for kiddos. Other sounds that you can make are the wind, whoosh, 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 as it's going. You can do, you know, him touching his hat, tap, 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 and different things. So after your baby's making lots of those play vocalizations and those sounds that aren't really words, you can move into more word-like sounds. So those are things that we're more familiar with play when we work with kiddos. You know, animal noises, so pointing to the birds and saying tweet, 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 tweet. That's words like doing drip, 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 drop, sploosh, like when he melts. You can do words like splash, splash, splash for that bubble bath. And like bubble, 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 bubble. Anything repetitive like that. Up, 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 up as they're building. After that, you can go on to exclamatory words. So those are things like uh-oh and oh no. You can also do some wow as he gets built back up. You can do bless you. Those are all things that kiddos tend to get first because they come with some high power and adults say them frequently and with lots of energy. You can do something like ooh, warm, to try that too. After that phase, your baby's really getting ready to do more words and functional words. So you're going to start and find just 1 or 2 words that you want to model through the book. This book's really great because they have these little birds on every page. So you can look for the birds and they can get that practice over and over and over again. Bird. And then you turn the page and you hunt for it. You might even do something like looking, 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 bird. And practice that word over and over. This book is also great for body parts if your baby's practicing eyes and nose and mouth. And for clothing, the hat and the scarf and the coat and even the buttons are great words to begin using with this book. If your baby is past that stage, you can work with your early interventionist to figure out some phrases that are just right for them for the book. And if you're still kind of thinking, I'm not quite sure where my baby's at, just work with your early interventionist and they can help you figure out what's going to best meet their needs using this book for their development. Another fun thing to do when you're reading with a baby is to sometimes present the book purposely upside down and then see if they will write it and turn it the right way and notice that something's a little off. And if they don't, you can help them, show them and say, oh, look, uh-oh, uh-oh. And you turn. Yay, look, yay. And something simple like that. Obviously a lot easier when you have a baby around that you're doing some of those highly animated voices and playing with them. I hope you enjoy Sneezy the Snowman and reading to your baby and have a great wintry February.